Yay!
Are we actually doing this?
We are. Can I just say, I know that we're still setting up, but I got something special in the mail.
Hi.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. Ah! I was like, this is for me. For me.
For you. It's for you. I had it for a little while and I bought where is she? Where'd you go, Alice?
I felt it charged. It was super charged. I felt it. I know you had it on your altar space or something.
It was on one of them. Yeah, it was sitting next to my little angels over there. And I mean, it's kind of moved around in different areas, but yeah.
I didn't want to tell you yesterday because I wanted to tell you today, but I was like, let's show all the viewers this. If this is not a representation of us, I don't know what is.
I know. And Miss Simone, the artiste here in Houston, Texas. It's fabulous, fabulous art. I have put on the backdrop for me, there and there. And then there's one other one on the corner. But yeah, I saw this one. And this is kind of how I always feel like maybe my frame of mind is always just kind of like,
that I think it's kind of like funny how like you're wearing white today and I'm wearing black. What is this dichotomy? We don't just scream duality of the Gemini twins. I don't know what does. I just think it's funny how like I've been super, I mean, again, how have you been? I mean, I know that we've discussed like current like events within our personal lives, but I mean, I think it's sort of cool that you're like, you know what, I'm trying to uplift my spirits at the moment, like I'm wearing white, and here I am feeling super, I just want to play. Let's just play with this, like, you know, dark twin, because you know I love to bring that out of you.
Yes, because she kind of bitchy, and here's the other thing. So I was talking to Omar. We at some point need to say hi. By the way, I think we're starting.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Down the Rabbit Hole podcast. I have missed you. And not only have I missed you, but I miss like recording. I feel like our lives have been super, not tumultuous, but like they have been coming in with a lot of like twists and turns and so many different like this way, that way. So it's just really nice to be recording at this moment because again, like I look forward to these recordings all the time.
Me too.
And just seeing your face, because we have conversations over the phone, but we don't have them like this.
I know. Can you imagine how you gonna be when I go over to California in July? I keep telling Omar, like, we're just not gonna, when we see each other the day that I get there, we're not gonna be letting each other go. I said I will be wearing bright red lipstick. There will be kisses all over. And people will be questioning what has happened. Significant others will be questioning what has happened.
I just feel like we're gonna be like skipping everywhere, just here, there, and being like, what are you guys? What are you guys on? We're like, honestly, we've been waiting lifetimes for this.
Yes.
Lifetimes,
many lifetimes, and I'm sure it's probably happened like over and over where we get reacquainted with ourselves, kind of like, I've missed you. Welcome back from the war, my love.
Mm-hmm. It's sort of like that moment. Yeah, no, exactly that. Like that moment where you're like, oh my God, I haven't seen you forever. But like, also, it hasn't been a long time, even though it's been like how many years of separation?
I don't know. I mean, this lifetime?
In this lifetime, it feels like centuries. But I mean, in previous ones, it feels like, well, we're doing this again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and it feels good. Like, yeah. Couple things before like my go zoop zoop. So we were talking about the contrast of light and dark and wanting to play with the shadow twin. So I was talking about I was wearing the red lipstick. Okay. All right. I'm going to stand up for a second. I'm going to show you my shirt. Okay. So I am not a fan. I haven't actually seen up Schitt's Creek, but it says Rose Apothecary locally. So it's a Schitt's Creek shirt. But Queen of Hearts, roses, and red.
The Lady in Red. I've never seen that show.
You haven't seen it either?
Everyone talks about it, but I'm like, I've only seen that one scene where Moira is drunk and she's trying to film a commercial for like this like wine thing, and she keeps tripping over her words and she doesn't know what she's saying. And I'm like, that's not me when I wake up in the morning, like, jab, jab, jab. What are you saying? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not even awake yet. I can't even function. Because I've driven, I just don't know how people wake up in the morning and not start off their day with a cup of coffee, because I can't do anything without coffee. And I've started my day without coffee and I'm still tripping over my words. I've been to like a drive-through for Starbucks, even trying to like deliver my order, and they're like, I'm sorry, excuse me? What was that? And I'm like, and I panic. There's that moment of panic where you're like, I'm not making sense right now. I obviously need my coffee, but at least they're patient enough. And at least they're not looking at me to give me that eye of like, are you all right, sir? Can we help you today?
Yeah. No, I feel the same way too. Like it's like, are you gonna play like the good witch or the evil witch today? And it's like, depends how much coffee I've had. And yeah, it's like I'm really not a morning person. But I mean, it depends on who it is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like I must really love you not to scream at you.
I'm not nice. My boyfriend like has seen me like wake up in the morning, and not that I'm a mean person. I'm just very short, like shh, shh. You're asking me too much. Like you need to shh. Like I can be nice, but also like let me get up, because I don't just naturally rise that way and start like, I like to see myself as a very huge extrovert with a big personality that has it can be a lot for others to handle. But when I haven't had my coffee, I'm very short. I Everything's too loud, it's too bright. Let me get up and then give me like 20 minutes to like warm up and I'll be myself. But if you don't give me that, and if you wake me up without even having coffee in your hand, forget it. What do you need? What is it? I know. You just disconnected from me the astral realm. All right, we're not doing this today. I can't. We're not doing this. Like I was having fun up there with the sky people, and you just had to interrupt it.
I mean, it's kind of like waking up from like a really good dream. Like somebody was saying, like, yeah, I was dreaming Jason Momoa was my husband, and we were just like shopping in the grocery store. She's gonna kill me for saying this, but I'm not saying who it is. But anyway, but yeah, and I was like, yeah. And then my husband woke me up, and I'm like, oh, that's terrible. I'm like, I probably would have been really pissed off too if like somebody woke me up and Jason Momoa was my husband in the dream.
I've had to see him. I've seen him from like afar in my car once. And I was like, is that? And I'm like,
damn, baby, you look good.
and check him out in like the rear view mirror, just like, is that okay? And you want to turn around, but you're like, I got places to go. You know, actually, if there's one thing that I wish that could happen when you're out here is to run into Angeline. In LA, there's this woman that was really, really like famous for, she's like the original person that was just famous for being famous. So she had like billboards all over Los Angeles with her just in pink.
And
And
the
so she's
Corvette.
known driving down like, yes, I want to run into her with you. But I hope that when you're down here, we can run into her. Cause like, I mean, if that's not like a modern day, like fairy tale person or like just a person of folklore in modern day times, I don't know what is. Cause like you can see her, but I mean, I've seen her car maybe like 2 or 3 times, but I was so hesitant to approach her because I don't want to bother anybody. It'd be cool to see her though. I was at a Starbucks in Malibu and I saw Caitlyn Jenner. And I was like, I just saw her dog first. And I was like, oh, hi, look at the baby. And I looked up and it was her. And I was like, okay, anyways, you obviously want to be left alone. So we'll leave you alone. But listen, anything is possible. You can run it. We'll run into her. You might even run into her just in passing. Put it out there. All things are possible.
I'll try not to geek out that bad. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, keep cool, don't ask for an autograph, don't ask for an autograph. And
Imagine everyone into her getting coffee.
I wouldn't even know if it would have been them, like if it hit me with like a Mack truck, like I'd just be like, oh, I got hit. Like, I'm missing an arm. What are you trying to say?
I'm gonna follow your lead, so you better keep your eye out. I'm the worst at spotting them out. Ooh.
Oh
okay.
my God. So, but I'm kind of glad we kind of got into this about like with the actors and actresses and them kind of going into them playing certain roles, and then in real life they're just like you and me, people in real life. But before Omar and I connected on Zoom, we were thinking about a topic because, you know, I was like, well, we can pull from the bowl. And then kind of like this light bulb went off because he was asking how things were going. And I was like, you know what? I kind of feel like with the way that this conversation is going, maybe it should be on past lives. So I have my tarot card deck here. Omar has his tarot card deck there. Yes, look at this. Like, this is almost, look at this. It's almost like night and day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Again. So I told Omar, and I have shared this with other people. So there are times where I've gone to tarot class here in Houston. It is the Awakening Spirit. If you follow me on Instagram, sometimes I'll read there on Sundays. And that is a shop that you see one of the owner spaces is Grendel Tucker. So she actually had a past lives reading spread, and I found that very insightful. Omar and I have already kind of covered this like in personal conversation, and we'll get to it, but we thought it'd be kind of cool to read past lives for each other. So, all right, you ready? I'm gonna shuffle.
I'm ready.
Okay, so the first card is what describes me in a past life. So the way that you arrange the cards from left to right, and it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So what describes Omar? Are we pulling for each other, or are we pulling for ourselves? How about we pull for each other?
I was gonna pull for you after you pulled for me, because I'm like, well.
Oh, you want me to do you first?
Well, can I ask you a question? Are we doing reversals? Are we doing?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna shuffle while you shuffle. I'm just gonna get my card set.
Card number 2 is my purpose during that lifetime. So what was Omar's purpose during that lifetime? 3. The lesson I did not complete during that lifetime. So what was the lesson that Omar didn't complete during that lifetime? How is it relevant to my current life? Wow. Okay.
I want you to show me the ones that you have on your end. I'll show you the ones I have on my end. I was thinking I was gonna pull for you were gonna pull for me, and I'm pulling for me as well, and we'll see how those line up, and then you'll pull for yourself, and then I'll pull for you as well.
Cool. Okay. Even more interesting. Awesome. Okay. I like that dynamic. All right. First card I pulled for you. And you actually had 3 major arcanas in the spread. Justice came up first.
Okay, so the first one I pulled was the Nine of Cups.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. All right. All right. Second one, my purpose during that lifetime, the Lover's card.
Ten of Swords.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. What was your third one? Third one is the lesson I did not complete during that lifetime. Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, interesting. Because I got the Devil card in reversed.
Ooh. And you know what's so interesting? I always read reversals, and I said it's up to you how you want to read them. All of them came up upright.
That was the only one that came up reversed.
Fourth one, how is it relevant to my current life? 4 of Wands.
8 of Cups. Do you want to see the bottom of the deck card?
Sure. Okay, let's see what it is.
King of Coins. The King of Pentacles.
Queen of Pentacles.
What? 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 Oh my god. What does this even mean? My heart's racing right now.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Maybe.
We don't even want to answer.
Well, tell me what you're intuiting.
So say, hypothetically speaking, because you know, these Scott people got sense of humor now. So maybe they are trying to get us to figure out what our past lives with each other were like. And maybe this was one of them.
It's so funny how you got the, I got the king and you got the queen.
Interesting.
You want to dissect these cards?
Sure. Okay. Let me get my book here, the one that's my favorite. Okay. But I really am going to say, like, okay, so for this spread, just for the people watching, it's not necessary for you to look in the back of the deck for the shadow side of the deck of the last card. But Omar just felt inclined to ask, and that's just what happened. But I do kind of feel like at some point we probably were in positions of power of king and queen. Most likely. Because I mean, for the first card for you being justice, that describes you in a past life, justice. So occupations could be, I guess as far as today, artists, musicians, writers, gardeners, florists, judges, military commanders, beauticians, fashion designers, decorators, and receptionists. So I do find that very interesting. Military commanders, thinking of king and queen, because depending what lifetime, you know, they're the ones that are in charge of their army or soldiers. The role in life, okay, what describes your past life, demonstrates the influence of peace, harmony, and beauty. She is pretty, though. She is very pretty.
Mm-hmm. I'm like waiting to put in my 2 cents. I'm like,
Get it. Put it in.
Well, Okay, so like again with like when I got the Nine of Cups, I mean, if you look at it, it seems like just I mean, again, Nine of Cups could really represent like, you know, your wish fulfillment and everything. But when I got the Ten of Swords, I felt like, okay, well, that's death. That's the end of the situation. You couldn't, I could not quite, I mean, again, like Nine of Cups to me seems very like excess life, luxury, very indulgent. But again, with the Ten of Swords, life being cut short. And then after that, with the Devil card being reversed, very life being cut short due to a life of excess or excess of something. And then Eight of Cups being like walking away from a situation to seek higher understanding. And
Yeah.
with the King of Coins upright, like it just seemed like to me, like again, even with the stories I've told you, I mean, I have Mars conjunct Chiron conjunct the South Node, and the South Node can be really interpreted as like your past life. And at the same time, Mars being the planet of a warrior, you know what I mean? Like very warrior spirit, dying for the benefit of something else, for the benefit of everyone else, or for someone else.
You know, and then in this book, because I was going back to your first card too, it was saying, because the first one was Nine of Cups, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like in the regular Rider-Waite deck, this book, if you can find it, if it's still in print, this is one of the books Grendel had recommended. I really love this book. It's no longer in print, but I'm sure you can probably find it at some used bookstore online somewhere. And the dog chewed it up, the last one we had that we it was a long story. But anyway, it's Tarot 22 Steps to a Higher Path by D. Bartoli Lawrence. Belodi Lawrence. D. Belodi Lawrence, and I'll put the link below. But Nine of Cups, a man sits with his arms folded in satisfaction and contentment. As soon as you see this card, make a wish. The cup in the background are neatly stacked and waiting to be filled with his pleasures. But yeah, it was kind of like what you said as far as that depiction of having the happiness and that fulfillment of things, celebrating emotional triumphs of certain things. Then your second card was the Lovers, my life purpose during that lifetime. The Lovers, I mean, we think of relationships, of certain things, partnerships. So even with those types of positions, even with your first card that you had, it really makes me think, as far as having agreements with certain people, coming together as community, keeping it together, keeping a time of peace with the justice as well, and making sure everyone else is happy, like there's like this certain agreement. So maybe not just like a partnership with just one other person, but definitely with like multitudes of other people, you know, for this kind of being like my purpose during that lifetime. And the second one you said was the Ten of Swords on yours.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at the positive meaning, it says unexpected loss, unexpected loss. Well, now that makes sense. Unexpected loss, self-inflicted pain, ideas of jealousy and revenge have backfired, defeat and fear of loss, disappointment. I think maybe with that type of position, it was to be expected that there were going to be gains and losses because of the very heavy responsibilities that you had. Then the Wheel of Fortune. So the lesson I did not complete during that lifetime. Okay. What was your third card for that one in that position?
The Devil card in reverse.
Oh, that's right. Okay, cool. The lesson I did not complete in that lifetime. So for that being in reverse, I was kind of like you said, the indulgences of certain things. But when I read it in reverse, I'm thinking of like breaking free from. So I guess, is it saying that you didn't?
Um,
I don't know.
the best way I could describe in the way that I feel and have been, I guess, to come into understanding, um, even apart from this reading, I know that I died of heartbreak of some sort, and I felt like I was the one that ended my own life due to suffering of some sort, due to a indulgence of something. But the thing is, I've always felt like I had money, I was okay, but due to a certain heartbreak, I I just didn't want to carry on and really just, I mean, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. And I got it, but even when I had it all, I was like, if I have it all, what does it matter if I'm not happy?
And that kind of ties in really well with this one too, because here in the cautions, I'm taking that as kind of like what the lesson, and I can also read out the major issues also. It says excessive physical energy may cause accidents. Think before you leap.
Hmm?
Objective decisions was the major issue, and balance and harmony in all changes, which it goes back to that justice of, I mean, we could think of temperance, we could look at, but even the two of pentacles kind of thing, looking at that as like balance. But yeah, I do find that interesting, and the balance of harmony in all changes is a major issue. And it still kind of ties into what you were saying also. It's kind of like having that sense of security and then knowing, well, if it's like gone, well, oh crap, like what do I do? And trying to keep it on an even playing field, that kind of thing on the emotions. And then also what to do to be quick into the action of trying to fix it. Maybe. Does that make sense?
Mm, yes, because again, the last one I got was the Eight of Cups.
Yeah.
Which for me feels like just leaving that realm, because I was like, I'm not necessarily spiritually satisfied here. You can have everything,
Yeah.
but if you're going to have everything with a sense of like an emotional burden, then like, why stay? I know that I did my own doing of leaving the earth early.
Mm-hmm.
I was just really, I don't know. I know that in that lifetime, I might have died. Life got too overwhelming to the extent where I needed to just, I took myself too far. I took drinking too far. I perhaps mixed one substance with another because I was just trying to be happy again.
Yeah.
And I took it to the extent of like, and I'm intuiting that like I had never tried substances like this, like that were potentially dangerous for myself before, and I took it too far to the point where I never got to complete what I was supposed to be doing there, which makes sense for me now because it's not like I have never been, I've never had a curiosity for recreational drugs because for some reason it just losing control. And again, I'm a Virgo rising. I'm like, I need control. If I'm not in control, then I panic.
Yeah. 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 I hear you.
So I think in this life, I'm just supposed to learn how to like emotionally master turbulent emotions to an extent so that I can enjoy everything that I have or will be, in line to receiving. Because in the end, like, again, like the King of Coins here, like I didn't complete I was so distraught and so heartbroken that I ended it so quickly that I didn't get to quite find the spiritual meanings of certain things that I was seeking.
Four of Wands energy.
I just knew that I was supposed to get married to somebody and I ended it. Or I was so heartbroken that I didn't want to go through with it.
Yeah. As far as, you know what, how you were talking about like current right now, if you lose that sense of control, you panic. When this is card is in reverse, you could kind of read it like that if you want to, or upright like that. There may be some matters of insecurity, not necessarily as far as like that feeling of insecurity, but like of like, oh my gosh, I can't be around this person. The fact of not losing that sense of control, like in your grasp of knowing what you were capable of, and making sure things are okay at the same time too. Like if I can take action on it, I know that this is going to be fine, and then everything else will just kind of fall into place and take the rest. So that's how it's kind of fitting in with current life right now. But still, it's like finding that balance of things is interesting. It's very like, yeah. But the whole married thing, I mean, the lovers could still kind of fly into that with the wheel. Do you have like a recollection of maybe somebody you didn't want to marry? Was it me?
No, I don't know. I mean,
Kidding.
honestly, I just know that I've done past life regressions, and what I have come to understand is really someone hurt me in a way where I was supposed to be in line to be in like a, marriage partnership,
Yeah.
but something happened between me, that person, and a third party where it
Yeah.
caused me to be so sad to come to find this, to understand information, like find out information that I didn't want to hear because I was, going to marry into money, or I was the person that was financially secure. But eventually I found out, and I was so like, kind of like, not necessarily like Romeo and Juliet, where, you find out this person died and I want to kill myself, but more of like a, I can't believe I don't want to accept this. I can't believe this person is with somebody else. But in reality, I thought this person was true and they weren't. So, and I could have had everything, but I didn't want to accept and not necessarily take accountability, but really come into my ego and know, oh, this is like, let's say for instance, my marriage is going to be like, I'm going to get married like in 2 weeks. I'm going to disappear and I'm going to go to a party and I'm just going to have fun. I don't want to accept this information. I just want to psych myself up to be happy. And I took it too far. And because of that running away,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to, accept those like emotional hurts. So I ended it. I know I probably did it consciously, but unconsciously, I didn't want to go just yet.
And even for you talking about it like this, like I can still see that in these cards. Like, again, your position of who you were, then what your purpose was. I guess it was maybe the purpose, like you said, depending on those types of relationships. Um, Maybe somebody else being involved. I could even look at the wheel, even with this being upright, like maybe this was a cycle that was completed. And knowing that you had to leave for whatever reason, and still that was the liberation for this being upright.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I agree. I
Yeah.
just know that,
Yeah.
again, even if I were to have continued my life, like, it was not going to be a marriage that was, or a union that was going to be, rainbows and um happiness, because I knew the secret. I knew what was going on. So it was like I could have everything and pretend like I'm happy and not see it, because once, kind of like when the fairy tale kind of comes crashing down, you're like, oh, wait, they don't love me. Hold on. I was living a lie. And that's why I feel like in this lifetime, I've always been the first to leave, because I will not be left,
Yeah.
or I will not be fooled into believing that, like, your intentions for me were true, but in reality, they're not. Because you find security within myself. You find a sense of groundedness with me. So every single like romantic relationship I feel that has come into my life has taught me, you got to go. They find security in you.
Yeah. And even
You,
then, for your devil card in reverse, you weren't going to give in with the whole thing of like, it's like you already had that sense of knowing of who you were, and you didn't need them. You'd been fine without them either. Like you didn't have to fall into that trap. That's good for you, baby. Good for you in that past life.
yeah, but I mean, again, it's sort of like, it's tragic, don't get me
Yes.
wrong, but I mean, ultimately, like, with the Eight of Cups, it just tells me a story of, you know again, we've had conversations before where I never allowed myself to play because I had to be so good.
Yeah.
And again, with the Devil card, which is breaking away from those chains, not being tied to those chains, and not necessarily indulging, but not being able to. What I'm intuiting is that I was perhaps a person that was supposed to be so prim and proper, that wasn't allowed to do the wild things. So I decided to take my own life, my own hands, and play for a day and be wild and be out of character. And that ended up me getting into the position of death and dying too early, because it was too much for me to handle. It was like, I can be bad. And it's like, no, well, you could have had everything too. You
Yeah.
could have manipulated the situation so that you could have gotten the whole house, everything, but you didn't want to.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. But yeah, um, that's basically past life spread. You could do it many more times than this, because obviously, if you feel like you've been here many times over, you see just what comes up and keep going until it
Mm-hmm.
starts repeating itself. You ready to do mine?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's You're not gonna believe this. You are not gonna believe the first card that flew out. You are not gonna believe it.
Is it
Woo.
Ariel? I'm kidding. The Fool.
No, but the next two cards also flew out.
Oh my goodness. Did they already know my purpose during my lifetime? Okay, you go first. You're reading.
First card, you watching?
I'm watching.
Justice.
Wow. Okay.
Second card, Nine of Coins. Third card, Three of Cups. Fourth card was the Three of Swords reversed. And the card that I got underneath the deck was the Queen of Wands.
Oh my goodness. I got the Three of Swords in the back of this one.
Someone was breaking hearts.
I guess. I guess. All right. Ugh. So first card, Ace of Swords. I was up in that head a lot. I keep telling you about this one when I pull it for you. Um, King of Pentacles was the next one. My purpose during that lifetime. I find that very funny. It kind of goes back to what we had pulled over there. The lesson I did not learn, I did not complete during that lifetime. That Four of Cups in reverse. I'm still gonna probably put this as like, even if it was upright too. I still think no matter what, I could not be happy. I really could not be happy, emotionally fulfilled. Even with this kind of like being upright, where it's kind of like, you know, still not being emotionally fulfilled. The fifth cup, you get it. It's not everything it came to be, but I'm really getting that guessing of like, yeah, it was not, there wasn't really anything that I could be emotionally fulfilled. And how I mentioned temperance was in reverse. Yeah. Couldn't go with the flow. How is it
You were too much in your head.
Like now, again, in my head too much. Yeah. And King of Pentacles. Yeah. I mean, as far as position goes, I mean, I had to have been some sort of position of a person of managerial power of some sort. Nothing really resonates for me personally on this, but it does really reflect on what's going on right now. And that temperance, I right now, how it's relevant to my current life, I cannot go with the flow at the moment. And yes, this is exactly what it's been feeling like lately. Exactly, it's been feeling like lately.
I think with the Justice card, the first card is your purpose, right?
Describes me in a past life. Yes.
I also believe that, and I love how like in this card there's a samurai. We were talking about geishas earlier. But again, I think it's also fascinating that the Nine of Coins came up. And Nine of Pentacles really just is a card of having everything and being okay, but the one thing that they don't have is love. Again, ladies having fun, drinking tea,
community,
celebrating. But again, what I also find funny is the Three of Swords was reversed, but like upright. Do you see how that geisha has her heart broken?
Yeah. What I tell you from that prior conversation. So I was telling Omar this topic of past lives, past traumas, whether they are soul contracts or family ancestral trauma. Okay. I was telling him that I had a flash, and I remember that it was from an SRT reading that I had from someone. And basically, for SRT, I don't know the whole word for the acronym for it, but the person asked these questions. You both move egos out of the way, and it's basically higher selves of both people in the room. So when you do that, things start to come up with the pendulum, and it's like all these questions on these sheets of paper going back and forth of what higher entities or beings are telling you to do. So if there is something that needs to be completed, the blockage will not be removed. If it is not necessary, you're kind of getting to completion of it, okay, we'll remove it out of the way. All right. So as the person, her name's April, by the way, she's doing this. I I kind of got like this flash in a moment with my eyes closed of feeling like I was like past life as a prostitute. I told Omar that for me, it really feels more of like that French connection, but who knows? Maybe it could have been as a geisha. And he asked that question before we started the podcast. So I told him, I do feel like it had something to do with, she must have been like some sort of madam, maybe something that was very well respected, as far as like her level. Because even like, if you look at history, some prostitutes were actually known as like, level of respect, holy things, but I mean, so on and so forth. So, I had this feeling that my past life in particular, with this particular woman, she was, actually, I just remembered something and I'll get back to that. Okay. But somebody did tell me I was a samurai in one past life. I forgot about that. Okay. Debbie, the one that does like the aura reading, she told me that. Okay. So anyway, back to this. But as far as the prostitute past life, I think she died from not the love being reciprocated by someone. And when I did this reading from this past life, we're all reading and going through this, but when I'm looking at the cards, I felt like it was very much so related because of things that were tying in together, like from conversations hours before. And I was like, I feel like I had done something to myself as far as killing myself because I could not have the man that I wanted or whoever the love was of my life. And so I don't want to get graphic, but I end up ending my life. And sometimes I have heard people say like birthmarks that you have. I have one on my back. My mom has the same one. And I have one that's here on the side of my head that is, okay, hang on, I'll finish this and then I'm gonna ask you. But I have like a mole that's like a beauty mark on the inside here of my head that was passed down from my grandmother. And so when that kind of triggered from the conversation before, I got the flash of that's how the lady went. And your screen just froze. Oh, now it just went back. Okay, carry on. What was this mind-blowing moment? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
You see how like in the background there's like a person in the window, but she's
Yeah.
just like outside.
Mm-hmm.
She's got like swords just all she's just over it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we said, again, like community.
Mm-hmm.
9 of coins. I think you were a person that had the means to help other people, but also, again, you were also very, very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
5 of Wands, very charismatic,
Mm-hmm.
all these things, but I feel like you could charm the pants of anybody, but the one that you truly wanted, you never allowed yourself to have that love return. And I don't think that this person rejected you. I think that there was a compromising position where, again, maybe this person was a client.
Client, married, would not leave the wife, I get it, it's like, but I want him. I only want him. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels really good because like applying to today minus, I mean, and that's what it always feels like with this card. Like Look at this.
Well,
This was the shadow
well,
part.
let's
Yeah.
dissect this. I mean, the Three of Swords upright means someone breaking your heart.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the Three of Swords reverse, like the one that I got, was you breaking your own heart.
Yeah.
Because you were fine. You were fine. It's just that, you know, you can have, again, it all comes down to you can have anything you want, but the one thing that you really want to die for, you ended up breaking your own heart due to, again, you didn't need finances. You were fine on your own.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you were a person in high society that was sought after, but you just didn't want, you didn't want to continue helping other people get what they were needing anymore, because you saw how everyone was so happy that, like, again, the way I see the Nine of Coins is you can have everything you want, but the one thing that they're lacking is like love.
Again, that Four of Cups moment, that emotional fulfillment. You know, here's the other thing too with like the swords. Isn't the swords also about communication? Is that right? Okay. So think about it like this. I always think of swords also as the way we think. I think it has a lot to do with it because it's kind of like we try to get like the mind to match with what we're trying to say. But also, in order to formulate that thought, it also has to come with how we feel. Okay. So I like how you were saying how with this in reverse for you and then this upright for me, like I always kind of feel like depends on the situation and how we portray it in our mind, right? So I'm thinking like, yes, this could have also been done to me, but also did I not do this to myself as well? Yeah. Yeah. And it kind of goes back into what you're saying, like again, it could have been
you knew
whoever. Yeah.
You knew what you were getting yourself into.
And I could not go with the flow. I could not go with the ebbs and flows. I was trying to pretend. And yeah, and then here's like this, again, it could have been very much me, but again, I like to think we have the dualities of masculine and feminine, but my purpose during this lifetime probably pleasing the men that had them money to make sure I was very well provided for.
This is you being like, oh, yeah, you want to feel hot? Well, here you go. Hi, I got the means here. Look at her.
I do. I got the means. I'm taking, guys. I'm sorry. I thought this was kind of cool for us to do and like do that together because that's kind of like what's been the reoccurring theme of certain things that's been coming up. And like I said, it was kind of like going through the past lives, what it is that we're trying to figure out maybe on this soul contract of what we're trying to master. In order for me to grow as a human being, I'm going to have to feel the pain and go through the fear and feel the feelings that don't feel so awesome, because that is my role of being in something and learning how to not give in to the temptation, like say said devil card. But how do I break the chains? Because that's like the big thing that everyone says. It's like, you have the power to break the chains. You can stop like all the trauma, like it can end with you.